What's up? What's up? I remember my last dream, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about it before anything else pop up on my mind. But pretty much, the dream was I was like, I actually seen the apocalypse from X Men and Blue Dude, which is pretty fucking crazy because I mean just the energy and how I pretty much put him in my sense. If y'all watch my views, y'all know how I put him in the good villain tribe, and I talked about is he a savior versus a oppressor in the sense of that idea. But so just in that same aspect, and when you dream of certain people, like it's like you're using that energy on how you look at them, and that's why they put them in that aspect. It might not necessarily be that same illusion or that same person, but the energy that you look at them, that's why they was in your dream type shit. So like if you dream about your mother, it might not necessarily be your mother, but it might be a motherly energy that came to meet you or came to present you with some type of information or knowledge or something like that. But I ended up seeing Apocalypse, and I didn't necessarily go up to him, but I was walking and I ended up flying up to him where he was like on this, like he was in like on a peak or some shit where he was like looking over, kind of like in a bunch of scenes in the movie where they're like on a pyramid almost, or on some type of place where they overlooking something, and that's kind of like where he was in. It looks like if you ever seen The Giver, where they had like the circle overhead inside his little lobby, it kind of looked like he was in that kind of standing out, looking out type shit. And I flew up there and I was like peeping what's going on or whatever, and he pretty much was like, you can do this or do that, and in the sense of he was talking about defeating a dragon, and literally as like he was saying that, I started to fly off, and I was thinking like, well, do I want to fight this dragon or not? Because it's just like I literally was thinking, is this like, am I saving the world or am I saving myself? And then I seen the dragon start coming towards me, and I'm like, all right, well, this dragon like is gonna take me. So I was like, I guess I definitely most likely saving myself, and in that same aspect, I'd be saving the world too, in the sense of how I talk about perception of everything being from the inner to the outer, and your worlds are affected by how you are itself. So technically, I was saving the world in that same aspect of saving myself, and like I had circled around, and then like I grabbed that nigga and slung him down, kind of like how a cow was, how you what you call a rancher slam down a cow or a bull by his horns or whatever, and drag him down like a hip toss. And that's pretty much what I did to the dragon. I slammed him to the ground, and that was pretty much the end of that dream. But it had came right after the dream where I had with the when I talk about the Terminator or whatever, the Terminator lady, which was trying to attack me or whatever. And in that same aspect, I had defeated them both with ease, and like literally like I flew around, I looked at him, I seen like it was trying to attack me, and it was like the theme that I had in the dream, like it was plaguing the whole area. Like if you, I haven't really played movies with dragons in them more recently, but I think like the last Assassin's Creed got like creatures that roam and like plague the earth type shit, and that's kind of how it was in the sense of like bright, like how you certain other beings was all aligned, and there's regular people living, then there's other shit living in a sense. I ain't see other beings, but I'm saying like I feel like it was oppressing the smaller people that was on the ground and shit like that. In that same aspect, I was like, shit, I don't know if I should be fighting this dragon or not, because that's just my personal information that's in my mind. In the sense of like when I first learned about the dragon, I knew it was about revelations and shit like that. But then you hear about other dragons, being Babylon. So I guess I was like questioning in the sense of that. But that's just the little process I went through before I fought it. But literally, like I swung around, and once I went through that thought, like the thought process took like 2 or 3 seconds. I turned back around and I literally slammed it. And it's like, damn, that's how powerful we are. And I talked about how in other dreams I feel like I'm running away, or just not as powerful as what I am, and I'd rather choose to be this powerful being that's in control of his own path, and like pretty much can, if something comes in front of me, I can easily just lay it down in a sense of if it's like a challenge, a lesson, or a problem. And even in the other dreams where I run away, like sometimes I have to run away, like for aspects like I talk about Harriet Tubman before, like she had to run away during her time. Other people had to fight, other people had to do whatever they had to do, but like I mean, whatever your spirit is telling you to do, that's what you got to do. And sometimes in my dreams I have to run away because I'm just not in the right mind until I gain that logic back and gain that confidence in a sense, and then I become my more powerful godly self in my dreams again. And pretty much I always can fly, like literally I'm always floating around, like I don't even walk in my dreams no more, and like I'm not being like, I don't know, I'm just being honest, like that just is what it is. And I think that comes to a part of my mastery in a sense. And even when I do end up running, like I always, like my getaway is like swinging on trees and like doing some shit that, like some Tarzan shit and some shit. So it's like I'm still way more powerful than I am in this human realm, like on some shit. Like I can still get away. I'm still fast. I'm still hella strong, but I'm just not mentally like Goku, like when he was fighting Beerus, like every time Beerus struck him, he like, you can go harder, you can go harder, you can go harder. And Goku had to keep realizing through multiple, you can call it different ass whoopings, but they're really just lessons. Like each lesson he went through, he was like, oh damn, I can stop this damn huge ass fucking ball that's about to blow up the earth, and which he did. And even when he did that, he had lost his god power, and he was doing that from his human self because he had fell back to his lower human self, but he was still strong enough. And since his mind was thinking he was still God, his human self did. And you can correlate that to physical shit with like when parents lift up cars over their children, like if their children got crushed or got ran over or some shit, just the adrenaline and things like that. When your mind is just like, oh fuck this shit, like we need to save this, or we need to what do you call it, fight or flight. Like once your mind makes that switch, like it's hard to stop you. Even if you are trying to run away, like it's hard to stop you. Now it's the people that, I'm sad to say it, but the people that get caught are the ones that pause and get stuck in the moment type shit. And those are the ones that they didn't necessarily have enough time to go through fight or flight. But other things to talk about, I really just wanted to talk about the dream, but it was something that's popped up in my mind. Oh, it was something that a dude just talked. I was on Twitter, and another person named, I think his name was Kurt or Chris, one of them. I can't remember. I know it's with a K though. But I follow a bunch of dudes that's spiritual, and they both, like, a lot of dudes got K names. No, but I'm off topic. But we was talking about. I said I don't have enough time. It's not enough time in the world to express myself, and the reason I say that is because I know I'm supposed to express myself. I know I'm supposed to do that. But even then, I get tired. Even then, I'm like, bro, this is my 4th, 5th, 6th video. And then I've already been doing maybe clips or doing my own research and studying for myself. And then I'm doing teaching. So it's like even doing this work, it gets tiring. And the biggest thing is like, bro, expressing ourselves is godly work, and our biggest thing that we're working for is to get into this heavenly retirement where we can rest and rejoice and just relax, where we ain't have to keep doing these works and keep going through these lessons. Of course, I talk about there still being more, but it's a fact that we get to choose to rest. And when they say we rest here, we get slept on in a sense. But when you resting in your higher place, it's more it's more structured, I would say. And it's not looked at as lazy, and the perspectives and just all the different things like that. But I was also saying, like, you can tell on this reality, like, if you were at peace, you wouldn't even want to express yourself anymore, because it's like, bro, you don't have any battles, you don't have any fights. And of course, being on this reality, you'll never fully be at peace. So it's always going to be something that you can express, or something that you can, have, that some type of art that you get out. But think about it, if you was fully immersed at home or in a universe or at peace, like whatever you want to call it, like in heaven, what would you need to express besides, I guess you can express your love, so I guess the expression would still be there, but like, why would you be expressing it? Why wouldn't you just feel it? Like, it's just a perspective thing though. Of course, you might want to talk, you might want to do it, but it's not a job, it's not work, it's not something we have to do anymore. Like, we have to go through these lessons. We have to do this work now if we really want to elevate and get better. But at that point, it'll just be something we're doing out of our free will, in the sense of, I wouldn't even say free will. We're just doing it out of the kindness of our heart, and it's not even something that we can say we're getting benefit from. But I don't know. I'm just talking at this point. This is really just theory or theorizing. But in that same aspect, though, I feel if I was fully immersed, I just know I wouldn't have to keep doing the same exact work that I'm doing here. Like, what's the point of retiring? What's the point of saying it's a heaven or a kingdom that we can relax in if we got to go through the same amount of trials and tribulations there? And that's how like, this expression and shit is just coming from that being one of our tools. But and I talk about what is it? The source of art. It kind of get into it. Imagination, are dreams real? Like, those are, like, I think I made that the past week or month, and those videos kind of get into it more on how vivid and how real these things are, how much we need to tap into it and things like that. But it's still just an expression. Like, we only dream because we're disconnected. Like, honestly, we only have daydreams because we're disconnected. Like, we're disconnected from one reality to tap into another reality. Like, what reality do you want to be in though? The one you keep daydreaming, and I also can say is you daydream, you have all these other things, and I already talked about in the last video, and you bring it to this reality, of course, and that's your art. But like, if you build a complete, if this world was completely decked out in your art, you still would run out of space. The canvas is not big enough, and that go back to saying that it's not enough time. Like, this reality just doesn't have enough tools to express yourself. Even if, like I said, you cover the world, you'll still be looking like, damn, what's next? No bullshit. And people that has real passion and shit like that, they know how they can keep tapping in and being like, in a sense of not being tired physically. Like Kevin Hart, Kobe Bryant, they always talk about waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, don't go to sleep until like 12 o'clock at night. Like, they literally sleep 4 hours a day. But if your mind is passionate and your mind is, have a will to go towards something, you see how crazy or insane you will have. Like, I wouldn't say insane, but people will perceive you as that in a sense. Like, if you literally watch Curry take 10,000 shots or 1,000 shots a day, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? You like, I could never do that. You know how when you watch people and you be like, I'm trying to think of an example, but you know how you watch people and you be like, I couldn't be me. Like, in a sense, even though they're doing good for themselves or something, you just like, damn, that's some hard work. And even though you might be completely successful with your own little shit, but just watching them and do it how they do it, you like, damn, that's crazy. And like I said, I'm just, rambling and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, pretty much said it all. Being passionate, being driven, and yeah, I mean, even then, Kobe body can't ever keep up with his mind or his passion. Period. His body wears down, but he still want to play the game. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying I know that for a fact, but he didn't want to retire. Like, he might have came to that now, but it's like after the fourth injury, you like, all right, now I need to shut it down after Achilles injury. But he already had, like, nigga was playing with broken fingers and all other type of shit. So it's like his spirit to keep going. That's another thing, pain threshold and shit like that. Your spirit can push through it, but at some point your body will start weighing you down just because it's something more. And then, like, it goes to, like, what if you were blind? And I'm kind of getting off, jumping ahead, but it's the same shit as once you get old, you're not able to express yourself the same way. So what do you start doing? Like, you start looking for something greater again. Same with if you're like blind your whole life. Like, you can't express yourself through really too many physical outlets. Like, yeah, you might learn how to play the piano. Yeah, you might learn how to paint and certain things like that, but it's still limited. And then you can't, like, say if you paint, you can't actually see your expression. I mean, you can hear your music and things like that, but I'm just saying, like, even when you get older, you're blind. Like, it's harder for you to see, it's harder for you to hear. So it's like you're not even it's connected to your art that you're creating back then. Like, you might have it's so many things that I could say honestly, and I'd be here listening for days and days. But I think I got the pretty much the example out of that. But trying to think of anything else with passion. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know the body, the spirit is strong, but the body is weak, and it just go to show you what you truly are. You see 90, 80-year-olds, their eyes be so bright, full of life, but their body's so fucking old. And it's not that they're dying, it's that their bodies just can't keep up. And it's about time for them to transition on to somewhere else. And you can see it, like, some people can take care of their body way longer than others, and it just go to show how strong their spirit was. And this is my last little thing. This is kind of off topic, but bro, it's like, I'll just realize myself, like, how I look down a lot and don't look into people's eyes, because I know I'm passionate. I know I be going the fuck off on people. So either I don't go off on people as much, but back then that's probably what it was. And now it's like maybe looking or searching for something, and I don't know. I just don't need to necessarily look in people's eyes. But when you do look in people's eyes, bro, you can find shit. And it's really crazy because I know, like, just staring at people, even if you barely know them, like, you start to, like, people, I ain't even gonna say people say, but our eyes I'm getting tongue twisted. Our eyes are a black hole and absorb shit. So I guess that's why I look down, because I don't want to absorb everything. That's a better way to explain it. But when you do choose something you want to look at, and like you truly look that thing in the eye, bro, that you start manifesting, I guess, more realities with that thing or something. And bro, that shit makes sense. But I don't know. I just was just thinking about how you can look in somebody's eyes and you can see, like, certain passion. And I guess it kind of do correlate with it. Like, you can see certain things that's just greater. Like, I guess I was saying with the old people, like, you can see in their eyes that they're so full of life. You can still see the fire is fucking strong, but the body is weak. But I'm out, guys. So I don't think I got anything else to say today, but deuces.